What's up, soccer citizens? Welcome back to Soccer City. Danny Brams here, rocking and rolling in the old home studio here on the final night of Leagues Cup Leagues Cup league phase matches happening. And thanks for everyone. We are live here in Soccer City on a wonderful Thursday night. Charlotte FC is about 48 hours away from kickoff against Columbus in the return to MLS play. And I do apologize to everyone for being a little late onto the stream tonight. Was originally scheduled to get started about 15 minutes ago, but rushing home after work, had to make dinner for the fam, had to make dinner for myself, scarfed it. I'm sitting here scarfing down a frozen pizza, but hope everybody's doing good, and we really appreciate you being here. We're going to do Decoding the Presser. It's Decoding the Presser time for Allan Saint-Maximin, the new DP. He's here. He's wonderful. He drew a penalty in Leagues Cup game that we talked about that last episode. You can go back in the feed to get all our thoughts on that. And welcome everyone. Jorge Torres, what a great soccer citizen he is. What a great, tremendous friend of this show he's always been. And we love you, Jorge. Thank you for being here. And he starts off the commentary track tonight from the Peanut Gallery, from the citizens, from the Tifos, saying, shockingly, we still have life in Leagues Cup. And that is the headline here. Before we get to the Decoding the Presser, which we will do, before we get to the Columbus game, which we will do, we got to talk about Leagues Cup, because when we last spoke, it looked like chaos. It looked like heartbreak. It looked like we were done. It looked like it was over for Charlotte FC. And yet here we sit with 3 matches left in the league phase, and there's still a chance. Somehow, don't give me hope. As Hawkeye once said, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. It's the hope that kills you. It's the waiting that's the hardest part. But I've got a graphic up on the screen of the Leagues Cup MLS standings table, if you will. And let's break it down a little bit here. Charlotte is in 5th by this table on 6 points, tied with Austin on 6 points. But Austin still has to play. Austin plays tonight. They're kicking off in about 15 minutes against Club America, who is one of the better teams over on the MX table. America is very motivated. They need to win. It's sort of a win and in. These America Austin and the Cruz Azul Chicago games are basically, de facto knockout games to get to the next round. And Charlotte FC is involved. Amazingly, as Jorge said, still having life. Shockingly, it's amazing. You wouldn't think it, but if Austin loses, right now Austin's sitting ahead of Charlotte in this list. You think, well, how can Charlotte jump Austin? Charlotte's done, and Austin still has a game in hand. Well, they could lose that game, and if they were to lose that game, they're currently sitting ahead of Charlotte on goal differential in this table. So if they were to lose it 2-0 to America, then all of a sudden Charlotte jumps them without playing, which is nice. So that's how we jump Austin. Then we got to stay ahead of Chicago. Chicago on 6 points also, and playing tonight against Cruz Azul. If they get 1 point, they pass us and we're eliminated. But if they lose, we've already got them beat on goal differential, and their goal differential would get worse in a loss also. So we've got Chicago. Nothing to worry about there. And then even if those 2 unlikely results happen, if America wins 2-0 and Cruz Azul wins 1-0, let's say, then all of a sudden Charlotte's looking good and ready and is alive to be in, but we got to wait. We got to wait till Portland, because if Portland, way down there at the bottom of the table there, if Portland is sitting on a +1 goal differential, so they would have to win. Basically, they'd have to win 4-0 against Tijuana, which who knows? Maybe they could do that. Who knows? Will you be staying up late? If we get the first 2 legs of this Leagues Cup parlay, do you stay up late for the third one? Who knows? I don't know. I got an early morning tomorrow, but I might stay up late. You never know. Thank you, everyone, for being here. What are we here to do? We're here to decode the presser of Allan Saint-Maximin. He met the media today here in Charlotte. He's already met the fans, obviously. Came in, had that nice little 20-minute cameo. Looked really good. Looked very enticing, exciting. And I can't wait to get a great look at him on Saturday night, flying down the left wing, hopefully, more than 20 minutes. Hopefully he gets a full 45. Charlotte versus the Crew. Big matchup here in the East. And like I always say, we saved the Crew, and I still have yet to be shown. I still don't know why. Still don't know why we saved the Crew, but we did. And now we got to play them. Currently ahead of Columbus in the standings by 5 points. Charlotte's sitting in 7th. Columbus down there 20 points behind, 5 points behind Charlotte. That's, Columbus is a team that you would have thought would have been a contender to win the East here starting. at the season, and now they are fighting for their lives. So they're going to be hella motivated to come down here. We've got the full Charlotte schedule on the left there. Columbus at home, at Toronto, DC United at home, at Atlanta, Houston at home, at Montreal. I'll be there for that one. Can't wait to get to Canada. At Cincinnati, at DC, Chicago at home. It's quite a run out. There's some very winnable games there, and there's some tough matchups. Houston at home should be fun. I believe that's the first time we'll ever face. We've been to Houston. I don't think they've ever come here, so that'll be one worth going to on September 5th for sure. Lot to play for. Lot coming up this Saturday at Bank of America Stadium, the Fortress, we love to call it. Defend the fortress, protect the keep has always been the mantra here on Charlotte Soccer Show, Soccer City. And without further ado, I think it's finally time to get to the decoding the presser, because that's why we're really here. But I'm excited about that match. I mentioned in the last episode, a good friend of mine, good coworker, good colleague, is set to be honored as the coronation honoree before the match. Dari Noka, SEC Network anchor and host, longtime ESPN college football personality. If you love college football, gridiron football in the college ranks, then you certainly know who Dari Noka is. And you might not know that he lived here in Charlotte, but he does, and he's a big soccer fan as well. Charlotte FC season ticket holder. Can't wait to see Dari get honored. He deserves it. Awesome things. But like I said without further ado, and then I brought further ado. We're going to leave it. Thank you for everyone for being here. I've got two clips here. I've got the Allan Saint-Maximin press conference, and I've got the Dean Smith press conference. We're going to listen to St. Max first. Because he's the new guy, and shout out Jorge, who says, prepare for long, eloquent answers from St. Max. I love it. I thought Wilfred Zaha was a great interview. Hopefully Saint-Maximin is as well. He can just replace him both in production on the field and with great sound bites off the pitch. Who knows? But we're going to do it, and then we'll let whoever's live, I need your viewer commentary votes down in the chat. Tell us in the chat, what do we do? Chat, what should we do? Chat, should we listen to Dean? We're going to listen to St. Max. That's like 20 minutes. And then do we stick it out and go for another 15 minutes with Dean? We've heard a lot of Dean. I don't know if we need to hear more Dean. We'll let the chat decide, but first we're going to hear St. Maximin. Let's do it.
Yeah, Will Pelagic from Charlotte FC Radio. Once again, welcome to Charlotte. How does your first impression of Charlotte meet what you were told about the city, either from others or from afar?
To be fair, I'm very surprised because I hear many things about Charlotte. I have the chance to send my sister to see the place before I come. But it's always the best to arrive and to feel. And since I arrived, all the people here are so nice. As I say, it really looks like a family city. And this is all I need. This is all I need, to be fair. So I didn't see much at the moment, but from all of the small things I see, I really like.
What did it feel like?
Did he just quote Blink-182? Did Allan Saint-Maximin just quote Blink-182? All the small things, Charlotte, it brings. How cool is it that he sent his sister on a little scouting mission? His sir, I think, c'est sûr, I think is how you say that in French. I don't know. My French is pretty bad, but amazing stuff. Sending the sister to scout out the city, brilliant. Still says he's surprised about how great it is. I'm sure he's going to talk more and more and more. So let's keep it going. But interesting that he's quoting Blink-182 inadvertently and getting the whole family involved in figuring out if Charlotte's a great place to live. Smart man.
To be out there on the pitch, on the game pitch for the first time on Tuesday night.
Was a bit strange for me, especially to play on the turf. was a big change, but I need to adapt. You know, I hear a lot of players when they arrive, they a bit struggle at the beginning, but now it's okay. So I will just try to do the same than all the players. And it's a big change. It's a big change because it's a new team, a new teammate, different style of play, and a lot of things are different. But if you see my career, I move a lot, and I always adapt. So that's exactly what I have to do now.
I know that.
Love the answer. 2 for 2 on great answers there from Maxi. And I love it. You ask him about what it felt like to make your debut in Leagues Cup and play your first minutes on the pitch for Charlotte FC, and the first thing he mentions, obviously, the turf, because the turf sucks. And you can come at me with all the... There's reams and reams and reams of data that says that the turf is fine, but you know in your heart, that the turf sucks for sure. So, not really a factual argument. It's just more of an emotional thing. But all the players know, NFL players know it too. The Panthers always tell them. Maybe someday David Tepper will have 7% growth in one of his companies instead of 5% for the year, and he will decide to spend that extra cash on some grass for a season. Who knows? But a lot of faith in sister's judgment. Yeah, of course. Or hey, I mean, you got to trust. If you can't trust your sister, who can you trust? Shout out Explode4. Welcome to the chat. Great to see you. Did we meet this week? Did we meet on Tuesday at Hotfly? Let me know if that's you or if I'm crazy. But Saint-Maximin seems nicer than Zaha. Yeah, well, he does seem pretty nice. Zaha was nice, but he was just nice in a weird way. He was just kind of strange, but I don't think he was mean. But Maximin does seem a little bit more, just right off the bat, a little more empathetic. I don't know, might be the word.
One of the things you said to us in your first conversation is your desire to make this a long-term move. You used the term club legend. How much of that did it take a while for you to kind of sink into and think, okay, I've moved
Club legend? I like the sound of that.
a lot over the course of the last couple of years. I need to be a little bit more stable.
Yeah, it was something very important, especially for my family, because now my kids, if we ask them what is normal for them, they will straight away say to me, move every 6 months. You know, so that's exactly what is a normal life for them. And I just want to bring more stability for them, to have the chance to set up some place, to have a friend, keep the same friend, really start to feel good in a city. And it was very important for me to choose the right city. So as you know, I received many offers from different countries. And this was the most important for me. That's why it take so long before to make my decision. And I think Charlotte is exactly the place I need. As you know, it's a very family city. You know better than me. Me, just a couple days, I'm in Charlotte. And so far, there is, you know, like I have the chance to be around to the South Park Mall and stuff like this. And it's one of the first time in my life where I can walk and nobody come and run to me, you know. So this was unbelievable to really feel for the first time like a normal people. So in all the places I've been, Mexico, Turkey, France, is impossible to do that. And it's something's very hard, you know. It's very hard because the kids, like when I go out with them, they never really have the that for them, you understand? Because there is always people around, always picture and stuff like this. I don't mind to do it because I know it's my job, you know, but sometimes you just want to spend time with your kids and just be a normal person. And Charlotte, the city here, give me the chance to do that. And for me, it's this cost $1 million for me. So I'm very happy for that. And that's the reason why I want to give back this to the club, to the city. And the best way for me to do that is to play well. So I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready, as I said before, and it's not just speak, because there is some player they will speak, but they will not do it. But me is really some things I want to do. I will do my best to be a legend for the club. I want to stay here for the long club, unless the club decide to sack me. But at this time, it's not the case. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready to help the team to be successful. And I have the chance with the experience I have to know exactly what I have to do inside the pitch and outside.
Man, what a lot to unpack there. What a great answer. Although I have to say, I have to just be fair, you know, I have to be even-minded, even-handed, as they say. First off, I love that he said he's throwing around the term club legend right off the top. I mean, you hear that? You hear Allan Saint-Maximin say he wants to be a Charlotte FC legend. Hell, you're like, hell yeah, brother. You're locked in. I sense so much, both a great mix here in his tone and body language and persona, just of both humility and confidence. He knows what he's capable of, but he's willing to make the joke unless unless the Charlotte decides to sack me first. I want to stay here forever unless they fire me. I don't think Will Zaha ever would have been caught dead saying something like that. He couldn't even imagine the concept of being fired by his club. I don't think, although it has happened before. But Maximin Maxi coming in here with, like I said, a quiet confidence blended with a humility and a sort of self-effacing charm that I really dig. That kind of reminds me of what I try to put, the energy I'm trying to put out there in the world all the time. So shout out to you, Maxi. Now, as far as the even-handed side, I do have to point out, like, I was critical of Tim Ream, right, when we signed Tim Ream, of coming in and like the first thing he talked about was like how much he was excited to raise his family here. And I was like, well, we want you to be excited to come here and play soccer, So it's a fine line, and I kind of realized that maybe I was a little bit too harsh at that time. I did kind of regret being like so focused on that so much. So, but to be fair, I can't criticize Ream for it and then not bring up the same point about Maxi when he's saying the same thing. But what I really did kind of relate to and identify with there was his comments about not going to South Park Mall, and being able to walk around like a dad with your kids, and how that he's never had that because everyone knows he's a football star everywhere else he goes, in Turkey and in France and in England. And for better or for worse, you get to have a little bit more anonymity. In Charlotte especially, looks like that's what he was going for. Even Messi, there was a viral video just the other day, between the World Cup ending and Miami getting go again, where Leo Messi was videoed, just out and about walking the streets with his kids, something he could never do in Europe or in South America where he's from. So it's cool that we're able to offer that to these guys in a way. You have to. What I hope that Zoran is listening. I hope everyone is listening. Like, I'm sure they are, but like that's a sales pitch you can make to a lot of these guys. And Maximin's not like, he's only 29, maybe just about to turn 30 years old. It's not like he's washed up. It's not like he's like 34 on the tail end. We can get many good years out of this guy, I think. So, but he is a family man. So go find the family man, Zoran, and bring him here, because Charlotte is a great place to raise a family. Everybody knows that.
Right.
Maxi, Brian Toppin, 90. Harry Toffolo also mentioned like stability and having a stable family life off the pitch really helped him.
Toffolo did, Ream did, Westwood does.
How much of that is just an important part of the stability and everything for you?
It's everything. It's everything, Some player, that's why they didn't decide to have kids, because it's a big distraction. We have to be honest for that. Like, anything's happen in your kids, this straight away affect you in the pitch, If you love your kids and, for example, the day before the game, some things happen, or they fall down in the pitch, or they go to the hospital, or anything, you're not going to feel right, We have to be fair and honest with that. So, especially in my situation, I have 4 kids. So the chance for them, for some things to happen, increase. More kids you have, exactly. So it's not easy, but that's my choice, because nobody chose for me to have 4 kids. So that's my choice, and I have to handle this. It's a part of my life, and I need to do my best to feel good outside the pitch, and for sure the club and everything, they help for that. At this time, I have the chance. The club allowed my family to come to the club. I have my baby with me of 10 months. So all of these small stuff are very, very important. I have the chance to have the same in Lens. My baby used to travel with me in away game and everything. So this was some things incredible, and some things you cannot have in every club, So it's not every club will understand, like, you want to really be a dad and you really want to take care of your family. And I have the chance here in Charlotte. They totally understand this. And if my family feel good, I will for sure feel good, and I will for sure perform, So that's my goal. Not everything in my career was easy. Many stuff happening. I lose a lot of people in my life, and this is something difficult to handle. You can see now, and I'm sorry for that, for what's happened for the dad of Messi, but all of this stuff is very hard, And we are human. Sometimes because we play every time and we forget, like we are like every normal people, and anything can affect us a lot. So it's exactly what's happened to me in my life, in many different things I never really speak or nobody know, because we have to stay strong, and I'm not the guys to try to find excuse. but was tough. Was very difficult. Thanks God, I'm still alive, and I still have good people around me, and my kids are in a good health, and my mom and dad now everything getting better. But it's not easy. So when the life is good, we need to really enjoy it, and at this time everything start to be okay and better. So I hope this will keep going for long, and I hope the club will still help me until the end.
And then you mentioned.
Shout out Jorge, who was prophetic when he said, told you long, eloquent answers. Yeah, Maximin, extremely thoughtful, extremely personable, and definitely letting us know who he is and sharing his personality. We don't need to know the details. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation on some of the hardships that he sort of alluded to there. There is also the one reason that he's even available is because he was playing for in Liga MX, and he was playing for Club America, who's we need help from later tonight. And he, the fans there went on like a lot of verbal and online attacks against his family, and I haven't really learned too many of the details there, but it is an issue, and you can see it when you go on the Charlotte FC media social media posts out there. Bunch of loser Club America fans down there who feel the need to chime in and stuff like that. They're still chasing this guy down for some reason. I don't really get it, but you can see it on his face that it definitely affected him. Google at your leisure for the results there, or chat GPT it, do whatever you do, these modern search engine life. But the thing I wanted to say is to Allan Saint-Maximin is, bro, congrats on the sex, dude. 4 kids at age 29 is wild. I'm 47 years old, and I became a dad at age 30. This guy's not even as old as I was when I had one, and he's got a 10-month-old and with 3 older siblings. Nice work to you and your fam, sir. Hope everyone has loving Charlotte and adjusting well, and you found a great place to live. Have me over for a barbecue, Allan. I mean, Maxie, let's go. We'd love to meet the fam. Let's see where we're going here.
Thanking God there. You've also mentioned your relationship with God before on a previous interview. And I see you praying for a good long beat before you train or practice or go out on the field. Have you always done that? Has that always been a part of your routine?
Yeah, God is everything for me. He's the Most High, so there is nothing more important than God for me. So many stuff happen in my life, and we all need to have priorities, Not everyone believe in God, so I will never speak to people to force them to believe in some things they don't believe. But for me, in my life, with all of the things happening, it's just thanks God to be alive, you understand? And sometimes we forget this, a lot of things happen, but not when the things doesn't touch us or our family, we are not really feeling the pain and stuff like this, you understand? So only when some things happen to mom, dad, or sister, or brother, or close friend, we start to realize the life can stop anytime. But when nothing happens, we just think sometimes we're gonna be alive until 200 years, But this is not true, We will all have a tough time, especially when you start to get old, the big pain in the back and stuff like this. I've been with many players. And they start to telling me every time, hey, enjoy now, you have 29, but when you will have 36 and stuff, after the game you will feel different, So I just want to enjoy, and I know if I am alive, if I have the chance to have everything I have, good health, money and everything, it's because of God, And every time what I say is, even if I have to lose everything, I will keep believe. Because that's the real love, and that's the real faith, It's not only when the things is good you need to pray. It's not only when you want to get a big contract or stuff like this you pray, You have to pray every single day, even when in the darkness. And it's what I try to do, and that's why I pray every single time, to just say thanks and to keep my relation with God.
Mike?
We need to pray just to make it today. Hammer, please hammer, don't hurt him. Man of faith, obviously. You can see he feels it, he lives it, he knows it, he shows it. And obviously love the fact that he's talking about his faith in terms of how it applies just to him and how it affects his life, because and he's respectful of non-believers, because everyone kind of has their own feeling about those type of things. But he's doing what works for him, and you got to respect that. Shout out to Jay Doak, going by the name Explode4 here in the chat. What's up, Joseph Doak? Good to see you, my man. This dude seems awesome. You nailed it. Yeah, he does seem awesome. The words that are popping in my mind are like wisdom and depth and consideration. But also, it's not necessarily that he's like thinking about all those words and like trying to plot out what he wants to say because he thinks that's what people want to hear. He's just being real, and it's very impressive to learn a little bit about what's inside this guy's head. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. I think I might be falling in love with Allan Saint-Maximin, y'all.
Maxi Mike Solarte with Spectrum News 1. Welcome to Charlotte. I have a couple. When we talked to you via Zoom at the time you signed, you were you had the conversation with Dean over breakfast, and you said you liked the things he was saying and the selling points that he was making. Now that you're here with the club, how do you feel you're fitting with his system and your teammates and the style of play?
I'm always honest, so I hope you're gonna hear what I'm going to say.
Please do. Please be honest.
There is a lot of things I love from him since the beginning, and I have the chance to know what is a good manager because I've been with so many different managers. Jardim, Jose Mourinho, Patrick Vieira, Christophe Galtier, and even more name. So when you have this chance, you have a chance to...
Those are some very impressive names, by the way, that Dean Smith now joins a fraternity of coaches of Allan Saint-Maximin.
Have the experience to be with so many different people, like manager with big ego, manager with that are great, like tactical, but not great with to manage a group. Like I've been with so many different managers, and one of the things I really like, and this happening in the last meeting. So the number 9, Toklomatis, I think, yeah. He was 1v1 on the video, and he have the opportunity to go 1v1 against the defender or just play a simple ball. And the manager said to him, like, in that case, I want you to go and to take the 1v1. Even if you lose the ball, I'm not gonna say nothing to you. And this is something very powerful because a lot of manager in that case and during my career, they're gonna say to the player like, I don't want you to lose the ball in the box, try to find a pass or do simple stuff, But it's not what he said to him. And it's just a couple things, to help you to understand who is the manager and the way how we think. And it's exactly what I think. It's the way how I see the football. It's some things now we see, it's difficult to see that now. A lot of players, like for me, in my opinion, they really play like a robot, They don't, like the football
Robots.
from before, I can give you many names from Robinho to Inzaghi and many different names you know even better than me. It was so much different, They create a lot of things, they make... was unbelievable for me, and that's why I decided to play football. It's because of this player, and to have a manager to speak to you and telling you like go 1v1. I don't care if you lose the ball. Is some things you're not gonna see in a lot of team. So it's some things I really like with the coach. There is more things, but I think it's enough for today.
You can see his eyes light up. You know he's got that attacking verve when it comes to. He loves the idea of a manager just telling, go take as many 1v1s as you can get, son. We're not doing simple passes in the box here. We're trying to beat defenders. That's absolutely fantastic. And we're starting to all fall in love here. K-Dog, welcome to the chat. I want to shout out K-Dog because we have a Discord server with, maybe a couple hundred people in it, a couple hundred Charlotte FC fans that we chat. Maybe 20, 30 regulars talking all the time every day in there, talking back at each other. K-Dog's in there. And K-Dog is he's one of the first, I think Zorn's in the chat because about like 2 or 3 weeks before Saint-Maximin rumors and heat really started to come around that he was going to be signing, K-Dog like posted a list of like, hey, here's all the people who are currently free agents out of contract in this Discord server. And he's like, The only one that makes sense is Allan Saint-Maximin. So K-Dog, you should be a GM. He's weeks ahead of Zorn on this one, and his comment here is that ASM is a different gravy. This guy can be one of the best we've seen for Charlotte in this league. Totally agree. And at their peak, maybe Zaha was better at his peak playing for Crystal Palace than ASM was for Newcastle. But just look at that smile and just like think about how much of, I'm not going to call him a narcissist, but just sort of the self-centered tendencies that Zaha wasn't afraid to display. And here you got this guy who's talking about family, team, what he loves about the manager, the attention to detail, as Jorge Torres comments and points out. Like they say, what do you like about the manager? And instead of just saying, oh, I like this, I think he's pretty good, like people say, he goes into a detailed story about watching film with Toklamati and then relates that to how it might relate to his own game. So it's that attention to detail and the fact that he's real and he's giving us real answers, real thoughts. We're inside his head. He's thinking about the messages he wants to get across because he's trying to show us all who he is. And I think that's fantastic. And K-Dog, I mean, he did it. I remember that day when you posted that list, Kiefer, and I thought, I agreed with you. And I was like, yeah, of the people, it was like 20 guys, and some were unrealistic and some were completely washed. But I was like, hey, Maximin's a free agent. K-Dog's making a good point there.
And then just as a follow, you talked about getting adjusted to the artificial surface. For us
Tell the truth.
that don't do.
He said he would tell the truth.
How
Let's hear him
difficult
rag on the
is the
turf.
transition, or there may be some benefits because you come in with incredible dribbling skills and on an artificial surface, which in theory should be more consistent. Does that benefit you and the way you handle the ball?
Not really, to be fair and honest. It's a big change because I'm used to play in the turf when I was young, because in Paris you can only play in the turf when you are young. But the turf in France and here, they are so different, especially because they put so much water on it. So it's a bit strange for me. But it's like for every player. I know a lot of players, I will not give a name, but they hate to play in the turf. But I like the challenge. I'm always like this, I will not be the guys to complain and say, oh, I've been not good, I play bad because of the turf, I will never be this type of player, but for sure it's a big difference because with the way how I play, especially I think you see me in Premier League and in a lot of different places, when I move, like when the pitch is like normal pitch, because the way how I move and drive the ball, like there is more chance of my defender to slide. You understand? So in the turf, it's much more difficult because for them to slide in the turf you need to do crazy dribbling, So it will be difficult, but I will have to find a way to make sure, I can be the best version of myself, even when I play on the turf, and I'm going to do my best for that. I have the chance in my first game to help a bit the team with the penalty, even if it was not enough to win the game, and I will have to keep going. Try to get penalty, try to get a goal, assist, and if it's not that, I will have to, when I step up on the pitch, do my best to help the team to win. That will always be the goal.
Steve?
What a enlightening, illuminating, and once again another what I would call perfect answer. Tells the truth. Make sure everybody knows that he does not like the turf. He hates the turf. He thinks the turf sucks. But then talks about the fact that he knows what it's like. He did grow up playing on it as a lad. He's not going to make any excuses. It's never going to be blame the turf. But if you're asking him if he likes, I'm going to tell you the truth and say no. All perfect stuff. But then he educated me. He made me learn something. Because when I have thought about this, I'm a turf hater. I'm always going to be a turf hater. I have friends that have tried to tell me that it's not that bad. Even friends that have tried to make the case that it's actually better. I don't know. But whenever I've thought about why is it bad, I've thought about it in terms of, well, because it could lead to more injuries. It's bad for knees. Maybe it's harder to control. Maybe it's hotter. You know, maybe it burns, it raises the temperature on the field, and all those things. I never thought about the reason that he just cited there. So thank you, ASM, for educating me. He says it's harder to make a defender. It's harder to like put a defender on skates when you're on turf. He's basically saying it's easier for the defenders to stick with him on the turf because of the grip that they get. So I'm always thinking of it in terms of how it affects the attackers. I never thought about it from that flip side. Absolutely brilliant stuff from ASM. You can tell he's lived football. Football is his life. Football is life for sure for this guy, and he's thought about every aspect of things. And what a freaking brilliant answer! And now I have yet another arrow in my quiver as I fight the good fight. Against all the people who will say that turf is not that bad. It sucks.
Your dribbling skills, you read the defenders.
I got skills, man.
Inherently. It's not even a thinking thing because I see how you react in the slightest movement of their body and you're already going the other direction. Has that always been just part of your game, or is that something that you've learned and developed?
Yeah, it's who I am, you know. I've been working so hard to get to this level. You know, there is a lot of players, they're going to say, oh, this end product are not the best, and oh, he don't score enough goal, or he don't make enough assists.
Or I'm not a penalty taker.
But, you know, if I have the chance to play in so many good teams and with so many good coaches and stuff like this, and if we see my career in most of the places I've been, or like every place I've been, I always play every time. I never been a player to stay in the bench for all season or stuff like this. And this is the reason why, you know, I will never really understand the way how sometimes the people think, but I accept it, you know, because it is what it is. But every manager, every people I've been speak with, and especially the people know the football, they know my quality. They know what I can give to a team, especially when the game is close. You see in many games now, like when it's 0-0, when like the all defense and stuff like this, it's difficult to find space. And in that case, you need player like me, you know. There is not only me in the world, but like player like Doué, Mbappé, Dembélé. All of these players can create some things, you know, and make some things happen in any time. And especially me, it's my quality, you know. I've been in the best dribbler in the world since nearly 10 years, you know. So this is some statistic sometimes people don't speak about. They will prefer to tell, oh, he don't score goal and don't score assists and stuff like this. But I'm always been the player of the team. I always speak a lot to the coach. And when I go and dribble and the same than what I did when I was in Newcastle, it's not because I want to do the show or I want to be like, no. It's because the coach before the game, he tell me like, go 1v1, go 1 against 2 or 3 and do what you love to do. And I just do what the coach tell me to do. And if I don't do well or if I don't do what the coach tell me to do, I will not be a player to start every game. And
Is that your joy in the game, being able to do that?
Yeah, me, for example, you know, we played the final with Lens, you know, and we win the final. What the coach asked me was different, you know. He tell me, like, I don't want you to go every time in 1v1. I want you to keep the ball, and I want you to defense. I want you, even if we don't see you, like, with crazy skills or go 1v1 every single time, I don't care because I want to win that final. So I will for sure listen what the coach said to me. I will not go and try to dribble, and what's going to happen if we lose the game? I'm going to be happy because I pass 1 or 2 players. No. I don't think like this. So this is how you get for sure experience and you start to understand the game. Like, I'm the player of the manager and I will try to always help the team. And if the team tell me like, okay, go 1v1, try to create some things, and even if there is more player like we want you to go, I will do it. If they tell me like, okay, keep the ball as much as you can and after try to pass the ball, because if 3 players, they are on you, you're going to give a space for us, you know, I will do it. So we work every weekend to make stuff like this happening. And that's my goal, you know, and I think that's the reason why the coach wrote me and asked me to come, and I'm sure he's happy. I'm here now at the moment.
Which part of Paris did you grow up?
I got to say, that is incredibly skillful, and that is certainly the first time that I've ever witnessed someone come off as incredibly humble and very team focused and oriented, and just one of the guys, and incredibly coachable and subservient to the manager's will and all that, while also saying, I've been the best dribbler in the world for the last 10 years. Absolutely incredible. A top-tier humble brag, as Jorge points out. Absolutely bombshell of an answer right there. Just so freaking cool. Put that on a T-shirt, please, and a sign. I need to see that in the supporter section. Put that on a flag. Allan Saint-Maximin, best dribbler in the world for the last 10 years. Please, absolutely incredible. Put it on a tifo. Maybe the club can actually pay Sam what she deserves to put in the time work to get the tifos going. Who knows? But I'm freaking impressed with this guy.
Were you in Paris proper in an arrondissement, or?
Yes, I was in Châtenay-Malabry. Like, it's not
Shout out Steve Goldberg busting out his high school French arrondissement. Brilliant, beautiful stuff, sir.
far from the Champs-Élysées. It's like 30 minutes from there.
Champs-Élysées.
Because the areas like where Mbappe and so many great French players have come from.
So many. I can give you so many names. And so many names you don't know, but they was even better than me and a lot of players.
But also playing on like the hard, asphalt and courts and
That's like when you hear people talk about like Rucker Park in New York, or like the street ball in like the Bay Area or wherever, the greats of or LA, oh shit, best hooper in the history of the world's guy, you don't even know his name, dog. Like it's funny, like that's how the Parisian street football players are. It's crazy how that same culture kind of like blends across two different sports in two different countries. But yeah, I've heard many old tall tales about the Earl the Goat and all the guys you never saw, never made it to the league, but they were better than anyone out on the streets. And I'm sure that's the same vibe Maximin's given there, talking about guys who were better than Mbappe back in the day. So funny.
street soccer.
Yeah.
Is that where you developed your skills?
Yeah, so much. So much. I was the type of player to go in my house, to take like some shoes and to go around, because I didn't have the money to go in Decathlon to take some cones or whatever. So I was just using some shoes and try to go around the table, the shoes and stuff, to really walk my left, my right. And at this time, I can dribble with both, I can shoot with both. And I think I really arrived in the time of my career when everything started to set up. And, I'm ready to really try to do my best to help the club. And it's what I'm going to do in every single game, because this is the goal. When people give me some things, I always try to give even more, And when people don't give me anything, say I'm not good, it's different. But it's not the case at this time, so I hope everything will keep going in that way.
And
We got to jump
I
to
just
this right
got the ages of your children.
God bless you, Steve. The best. He's not going to be denied. How about that? Don't forget you only get what you give. Absolutely good stuff there. Love the energy from Allan. Just a absolutely freaking cool dude, man.
10 months, and what are the other ages?
And also shout out FIFA Street, by the way. I mean, gosh, one of the best PlayStation games ever. I miss it. I used to like score those goals off the wall, the bicycle kicks, good shit.
It's 10 months, 7 years, 9 and 10.
Thank you.
We got time for a few more. We'll go to Carol and wrap up with
10,
John
9,
Lane.
7, and 10 months. Wow.
Hey Maxie, it's
The baby of the
Carol.
family's gonna love growing up.
Welcome to town.
Thanks a lot.
I'm curious about your family. Are you able to get them? Are you in a house? Are you looking for a house? Are they going to start school in the fall?
To be at this time, they are in the school, I think it's Providence, the American school. So they are in the school at this time. I receive video and stuff. So they have a test. So my son of 7 years and my 2 daughters, they have a test today to see if everything is okay for them to go to the school. And I have my 10 months boys. He's always with me, sleeping with me every day. Make the night sometimes not easy, but it is what it is, you know. I really enjoy to be with them every single day.
That's great. The other game, when you
Second straight, it is what it is drop there from ASM. We got to love that. Absolutely based, as K-Dag points out. Not messing around at all. Moving out to Providence. Very good work, Maxi. Get your kids at Providence Day. That's the good stuff. Don't settle for nothing. Never settle for second best. Good work there. Absolutely love Carol Walton. Follow her work always at the Charlotte Ledger. I'm a paid subscriber, and love her getting into the family type app. I wish I could have gone to a prediction market and bet that the Carol would want to dig into this guy's family, and I'm loving that she's doing it.
drew the penalty and you chose, your numbers say you don't take a lot of PKs. Is that
this
something
too. This is a great
you just
question.
prefer not to do?
He should.
What do you mean?
Penalty kicks. Penalty kicks.
No, to be fair, in all the places I've been, if you see, I always, if you look, for example, in Alali, the guys who were shooting the penalty was Riyad Mahrez. You understand? So even if you shoot incredible, this guy is gonna take the pen every time. And he was my friend. He was the captain as well. So I'm very humble, guys. Even if sometimes with my style, the people think different. I'm not the type of guys with big ego and will come, I'm the boss, I'm better than you, give me the pen, I'm not like this, And my friend, and I said to him, like, I shoot good, because we all know who shoot good pen and who not. And the case in my situation, it's every place I've been, there is always crazy penalty taker, and was very difficult to have the time or the small chance to score. After this, I was thinking, okay, now it's maybe my turn, and we have Ivan Toney coming. These guys, I think every single pen he score, So he was one of the best penalty taker in the world. So every time was not very easy. The same happened in Fenerbahce, and after every time in all the club I've been. But in that case, I really want to take the pen. But as I say, I'm very humble. I was like, okay, I create the pen, I go to take the ball, and Archie come to me, And I was like, fair enough, because, he's important player. If you see the game against Pumas, he score goal and stuff like this. So I was like, I just arrived, how I can come, like I didn't even help the team in the first 2 games. And I come and I take the ball, I go to shoot, I'm not like this. So for sure, the next penalty, I will not do the same. But was good, I think, was good move for me to don't really like come and straight away take the pen and to let them shoot, So I give the opportunity for him to score, the confidence. Finally, he didn't, but that's can happen. We can see Messi lose, I think, 2 penalties in the World Cup. So even the best player can miss penalty. So that's football. But for sure, the next time you can be sure I'm gonna take the pen.
Oh my God! I mean, yeah. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. I thought I was over this, and Carol and ASM have reopened the wound. I cannot believe this. I'm pissed. I'm like pissed now. I thought that I had made my peace with Archie missing that penalty when I didn't feel like he should have taken it, and I didn't think anyone in the stadium, in the stands at least, was feeling the energy of him taking it, but he was the designated penalty taker. So what we're hearing is, and I love Archie, and he did score against Pumas, and he had to score a goal and an assist versus Pumas, and he's got a bright future. But let's just put it, yeah. So Archie comparisons are Erling Haaland from himself, and then now we've got Riyad Mahrez and Ivan Toney. So yeah, there we go. If we're looking for we got a few more Archie comps in the books now. Mahrez, Toney, and Haaland. Take your pick. 3 identical players, right? For him to aspire to. But You know, I think everyone. I just feel like this is such a good answer from ASM to show the humility. What it tells me is that his humility is not an act. His humility is real, and he thought about it, and everything he's saying is right. He did just get here. He is brand new on the team. He has not earned the clout or the place. He can't come in and say that his international pedigree tops or trumps the status of the guys that have built this togetherness as a team. And I think that's great. And I think he recognized that. And I think that's a good thing. It speaks well about him and how well he's going to mesh. And very quickly, he will have that authority and take that role because absolutely insane for him to sort of recognize all that and talk us through it. But we all wanted him to take it once he drew it. I was thinking as I was watching it like 20 minutes ago earlier in this press conference, I was like, make sure at the end you say that this press conference made you even more wish that he had taken the penalty because he's just got this quiet confidence, mixed with the humility. And you heard what he said about how, the guys know in practice who's a good shot. And he's like, hey, maybe I was always at a place with elite penalty takers that I could never sort of get ahead of in the rankings, but I do take a pretty good shot too. And I don't think he misses that if he steps up and takes it that he had drawn the other night against Pachuca. And since you can't prove a counterfactual or disprove a counterfactual, I will be able to take that one to my grave, always believing it. Shout out Jorge, who says Jorge was in the room as this press conference was happening. Jorge was there, and he loved it so much he came to watch me talk about it. So shout out there for him, and shout out for saying I was so tempted to tell you, Brams, this was coming, but I wanted your genuine reaction. Yeah, I mean, what did you expect? Hopefully you got what you were thinking it was going to be, because that's absolute nonsense. And if I don't, we're moving forward. We're moving it forward. So truthfully, all I need to know is that the next time he draws a penalty in a big spot like that, not the biggest spot ever, but a pretty big spot, he will be converting the PK as well. Shout out to Archie Mahrez, and let's wrap this thing up with ASM.
Okay, thank you.
And we're going to wrap up with John
Hey,
Lane.
Max. Yeah, just a quick one for me, Maxie. John Lane with Conca Corner. Is there any particular player that you're starting to build some chemistry with, or was there a player that has kind of gone above and beyond to welcome you into the club?
Also, sorry, last thought before we get that answer. Westwood, yeah, it's like it wasn't ASM's place to go take the ball from Archie per se, but it might have been the captain's place to recognize and read the room and say, look over at his coach and say, hey, sorry, Dino, the new guy's taking this one instead of the kid. But anyway, let's hear who he's bonding with.
Not too much, to be fair, at this time. I will always be honest and not lie to you guys. So not too much, but I think we need time, I really like the way I play Pep. So I really like, he's the type of player I love, with good technique, good left and stuff like this. And I think he's one of the best players in the team, or the best. So I really like him, but we need more time to create this connection. We didn't play together yet. And I'm sure I will try to build some connection with this player, and even different name, even Didi. We didn't really have the time to play together, Aloko and many different guys. So this will take time, but when I will have this connection, in my career, I always give more assists than goals. So I'm not the guys who will try to go alone and score alone. I will try my best to give them the ball for them to shine and score.
Golly.
Recording stopped.
Thank you so much.
Bless my soul. That's some amazing stuff from ASM. I think Mom, Dad, can we keep him? Like this guy's amazing. Like, I hope he stays here forever and becomes a fan favorite and a club legend. Absolutely insane. The potential that we would have lost Zaha, but made an upgrade for a guy who's entering, or not entering, but just, is still right there in the middle of his prime, having just turned 29 5 months ago, and well rested as well over the last few months. Once he gets match fit, he's going to be a problem. And I say, Dino, run him out there to start, please. Even if he can only go 45 against Columbus, make it the first 45, please, Dino. I mean, I get that you want to have an impact sub and all that, but man, I wouldn't mind seeing him out there from the start, giving those guys some problems and causing defenders problems, and being, making them wish they didn't have to play against him like Patrick Agyemang used to. And you heard him say he wants to create assists. Toklamati's got to be happy about that. Archie's got to be happy about that. And building a connection with Pep. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine Maximin and Pep just like kind of ping-ponging the ball back and forth to each other and taking turns deciding which one will score the goal? I mean, I can't wait. So hopefully that happens. We've been here an hour, so thank you for everyone who's been here. I couldn't blame you if you were ready to jump off right now, but we're going to keep it going because we got to hear from Dino. We got to hear from Dean Smith. He's my boyfriend. And again, I maybe he'll tell us his plans for Saint-Maximin. I certainly doubt it. I don't know how long this is going to be, but we're going to keep going. I appreciate all of you who are watching right now. I think we're peaking out at about, I'm looking at the analytics here, 1.2, 1.3, pretty cool. So that's awesome. So let's keep it going, right? With Dino, let's hear what he has to say. I bet we could predict all of it, but maybe he'll surprise us.
Tell us about availability for Saturday.
Toffolo still out. Aaron John obviously still out. Who else? Nimpa still out. Apart from that, we're okay.
Usual suspects, round them up.
As far as Maxi goes, for 20 minutes, how did he come out of that? And I'm guessing maybe a mini ramp up for Saturday because it's still kind of a shorter week.
Yeah, he come out of it with no problems. He got 20-25 minutes with the added time. Felt okay. Still working on his fitness, so he's had more of a session today than the ones that started. But he's getting there, which is a positive for us.
How long do you think it might be for him to get 90 minutes fit?
I don't know, to be honest. He's not had a 90 minutes for a long time, so...
Just a quick side note, I think you do know, Dean. I mean, I get you can't really tell us, but I think he actually does know.
Our job is to build him up and make sure he doesn't break, and I'll use my experience on that as well.
Do you have a sense of the fact that the math still could put you in a position to be in the Leagues Cup quarterfinal against what might have been long odds at the end of Tuesday night?
Willie's bringing that up. This was recorded about 10 hours ago, maybe 7 hours ago. And I can tell you right now, live as I'm recording this on the wonderful platform that is YouTube, you may be listening to it later on an audio-only platform, which I appreciate that as well, for sure. America and Austin are in the second quarter, just came out of the hydration break, and still 0-0, 32nd minute. And Austin had one pretty big chance that I saw just out of the corner of my eye as I was doing this. I got it rocking right here. Do you think we can get YouTube to content strike me there for showing my iPad with the game on it for 10 seconds? Probably they might. But anyway, I'll update you if anything important happens there. Let's see what Dean has to say about it. I bet if we're playing the predicting game, my guess is Dean's answer to this is going to be something in the line of "fuck Leagues Cup." I hope that we get eliminated tonight. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of strange competition in some ways, isn't it? That you win 2 games and lose 1, and another team wins 1 game and draws 2, and they're above you still. I can't quite get my head around that. Normally, wins count more than draws, but not in this competition.
Wins.
But it's a fledgling competition. We knew the rules before we went into it. And yeah, I've got a little bit of... I've not watched any other games, to be fair. I've just been focusing on Columbus, but I think we've done all right. We played 2 games, we win both of them, score 5 goals, don't concede any, and then play the 3rd goal, and the first goal we concede is in the 271st minute. You feel a little bit disappointed. It shouldn't really be like that, because I think there's a lot of positives to come out of what we had, and the fact that other teams now are playing tonight, so they know exactly what they've got to do, whereas we were still thinking we had to win the game. Hindsight's wonderful. We'd have probably stuck and had a point and took it to penalties, and you'd probably get through.
Refocusing on league play, how would you...
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have conceded that goal, bro, obviously. I mean, yeah, if we had gone to penalties, we'd probably be advancing. Oh, shoot. I accidentally... I got so pissed about that, I misclicked and I went back to the beginning of the damn thing. So let's scoot ahead a little bit. Sorry.
We had it, for the first game of the playoffs when Wilf was suspended.
On Tuesday.
All right, here we go. Sorry.
Obviously, other players
Forgive
do
me,
want
chat, yeah.
players to step in, but was it noticeable that he wasn't good to go?
I think when you've got, your top players out, and we've had that a few times. We had it, for the first game of the playoffs when Wilf was suspended. When Pep was out for the playoffs as well last year. When you've got your top players out, you're going to miss them. I'm not sure.
Follow-up question, why do we always have top players out in big games?
Even if he hadn't been suspended, I would have played him. I said that to him. He probably needed a rest and maybe would have been better coming off the bench, where he could have done. He would have been really good for us with a game that had got stretched, and with his quality, he definitely creates something. But we've got him back now for the weekend, and thankful to have him back.
When you
I believe
get
in there,
back
and that
into
actually
getting
would have
back
been a
into
pretty
MLS
great
play
master
now,
stroke
I know that
coach.
the mindset doesn't switch because you want to win every time you hit the field, but with where you guys are on the table and where you want to obviously get to, does I don't want to say the focus change, but is there a mentality shift because we're out of the tournament setting for now? We got to get back to.
No, the same was, it was the first game we went into in the Leagues Cup. You had to win to get through. Second game you had to win. Third game you had to win. That's the same in the league position now as well. We'll go into every game trying to win it. So our focus, our mentality hasn't changed. And as I said, I've been reasonably pleased with how we've come back after the World Cup break, and our job is to continue that momentum into the game now.
And then getting back to Maxi, you're going to draw on your experience, but it's not that long ago when Toph got here that he came in and went down early. I mean, are you drawing on some of that experience and what you're
experiences from being over here, because it's different. You're playing on turf against grass. You're playing in extreme heat as well. He'll have been used to that, being in Saudi Arabia and Mexico as well. So that's kind of helpful for us. But we just have to guard against any negligence on our part in getting one of our big players injured.
That being like managing more.
I have to appreciate Dean's approach here. The fan in me wants to open his Christmas presents on Christmas Eve, obviously, and get ASM out there. I've already said it twice on this very stream, right? Start him. Let's get him for the first 45. I want to see him. But very pragmatic approach from the gaffer here is very smart, because we talked about the stretch run that's coming up. It's a tough set of fixtures with a lot of midweek games here on that list. And he's got to be good to go. He's got to be ready to go. So don't rush him. Make the hard decisions, Dean. We're proud of you for doing it. I couldn't do it, but again, because I'm a fan. But in Dino we trust. Dino's at the wheel, I believe, is the statement we like to use. So yeah, bring him along at the correct and proper pace. Use your experience, sir.
Managing his workload, working with the performance team, and they do a great job of the injury prevention work, and making sure that his numbers are ticking the right boxes.
Eric?
Dean, during the Leagues Cup, and I think that's when you started, you changed the way you're defending formation-wise. If you tend to do more 4-4-2, it's like a 3-3. Is that based on personnel, or have you sort of identified something that allows the 4-3-3 to be more effective? No,
it was a little bit about personnel. We sold Kerwin Vargas, obviously, and I felt he fitted in the system of 4-4-1-1 or 4-2-3-1, however you want to look at it, with Pep in the 10, because he put in big numbers defensively and offensively. And I just didn't think we probably had that profile within the squad, so decided to change it and get more legs into midfield, to be honest.
Just a little follow-up. Lucas seemed to have a little bit of trouble sort of integrating at the beginning, or at least getting the best out of him. With the three center midfielders, he seems to be more impactful. Is that something that now goes into your thinking in terms of where to put players? Maybe play Pep on the right, or do you keep him central?
I think since we came back from the World Cup break, I think even when we played two, I thought Luke had done well. He'd done well in the pre-season friendlies that we'd had. He trained well. And he played in the 2, I think, because we had Kerwin for the first few games against Atlanta, Red Bull. Who did we play after that? Chicago. Yeah. Chicago was the first time we actually changed it. But he's been really good at adapting to both a 2 and a 3 midfield. So 3 is more natural to him because that's what he'd been doing for the last couple of years at San Diego as well. And he covers a lot of distance, so he certainly helps you in that situation.
Right.
Really loved the last couple matches, what we've seen from Luka. I did say in the previous show that it has to do with some weak competition. I'd like to see it. If we see it against Columbus, who is below us on the table, then I'll be very impressed. It seems like Luka's going to continue to play because it wasn't about the opponent, it was about the personnel, this formation shift from the 2 midfielders to the 3. And that also all had to do with Pep probably being out on the wing a little bit too, who now ASM will be on the wing. But we'll see how it all sets up against Columbus, but we definitely need to win.
Dean, Maxie mentioned that he liked, one thing he liked about your coaching style was that you encourage 1v1s, players to take players on 1v1. He highlighted, when you guys recapped Tokomati's 1v1 with the goalkeeper, you might have had a pass available, but that you encouraged him to take on the risk and take on the 1v1. How often do players that you talk to when bringing them in, is that a part of that conversation?
It's part of the conversation, but it's part of my experience as well. As a centre back, I never wanted to be 1v1 in the penalty box. So I'm just asking my players now. If you get 1v1 in the penalty box, it's what defenders don't want. Ask them a question. And Maxi did that when he came on and won the penalty through doing that. It was a terrible challenge, by the way. It was possibly a red card. But nevertheless, the lad didn't even get booked. But it was, it's just 1v1 in the penalty box. Make the defender try and do something. And if you do, if they foul you in the penalty box, you know what you get. So I think defenders are reluctant to go to ground or make a tackle, and allows you to get half a yard to get a shot in as well.
Maxie.
It was a great display of dribbling, and clearly Dean's going to continue to encourage him to do so, and it was a horrible challenge, and should have been a red card.
Mentioned that that's not as common these days, that kind of coaching isn't as common. Do you find that sometimes there's a little bit of a learning curve for players to kind of get that feedback from so many other coaches that take way more control of the tactics, especially on the penalty area?
Possibly. I don't know. I mean, I can only talk for myself and the way, obviously I coach. But I like players to show their personalities in the final third. That's where games are won and lost, We could have obviously won the game if we were better in the final third, I felt, on Tuesday. When we've got a couple of young players there, Archie, Allan, both 21. One's just turned 22, I think. If they were American, they'd probably be still at college now playing football, So they're learning all the time. They're getting better, and part of that is me giving them the encouragement to go and make mistakes in the final third, but learn from them and become better players doing that.
And then to see a wider range of your
Expertly dodged question right there by Dean with a nice possibly to not have to worry about commenting on other managers, and then going deep into his own styles and philosophies, which is great. So absolutely media trained wizard when it comes to never giving anything away, Dean Smith. That's what's going to happen with a guy who's managed multiple Premier League clubs. He's always going to be able to get questions back on his terms when he needs to. And he's the best at it. I love to watch him do it.
Roster. Has that changed maybe how you're approaching or talking to Zorn about the rest of the transfer window at all in terms of what you might need as the window wraps up?
Say something.
I think the period of the Leagues Cup games gives you a chance to look at some other players as well, give them minutes. Tyler Miller's come in goal and done really well for us. Only conceded the one last minute goal. Made some good saves. Been capable with his feet, and I think players like that give us the opportunity to come and see them. It doesn't change the overall outlook on what we want to do in terms of the window. But it just helps us knowing that we've got players that can come on the pitch for minutes or start now and are capable of doing that.
There's another nice move by Dean because he came in here today wanting to give Tyler Miller a shout out for a very stellar Leagues Cup performance, some very, very skillful and timely saves to put Charlotte FC in the position they did get to, then just concedes on absolute nonsense with Ream giving the ball away in midfield and then getting the overrun in defense. Unfortunate. Tyler Miller was really, really good. Do we dare say we have the best backup goalkeeper in MLS right now? Probably. I was to the point where I was like, hey, maybe we start Miller versus Columbus and just give Kalina one more game off as a mental break. Not sure that's going to happen. It doesn't really matter to me at this point, I guess is the point, because I trust both of these guys. Callie's still my number one, but shout out Tyler Miller. And you knew Dean Smith came into this room today. He's like, make sure you say something good about Tyler so that he, because the players know what the manager's saying and they pay attention to this stuff. And this is how you can sort of speak to your players through the media a little bit. Very cool stuff. And Tyler was awesome.
Do you feel that the successful experience of these 3 Leagues Cup matches will have a positive benefit on this team resuming league play? And
it's been no different to the experience that we did in the previous Leagues Cup years. The difference is that we won our first game and the second game. The teams weren't too different to what we played, but players are getting better. Players are developing. And I thought, we showed some good stuff in all the games. So what the players are doing, especially the younger ones, now they're starting to develop a lot more and understand what we need.
Yeah, and that's it. The fact that
I love incredulous Dean. I just absolutely, when Dean gets incredulous about what he's when he's like, I can't believe I'm even talking about this. That's just so funny to me. It's just I eat it up with a freaking spoon.
Did have a chance to play more players, and that you did have success in these games going forward. That will have positive aspects in both attitude and just connection.
Yeah, I've always said, the easiest group of players to look after are the ones who are starting, because they're starting. The tougher ones you have to work with are the ones who aren't starting, and making sure that they feel a valuable part of your squad, and that you're still invested in them and they're important to and they're going to be. And the last couple of games in the Leagues Cup, I've been really pleased with the input from the subs. I think they've done really well coming off the bench. I thought they changed the game against Atlas, and I thought they did really well when they came on, the other night against Pachuca as well. So that's an important thing, that you've got, players coming off the bench who can change and impact the game.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Carol.
Hey Dean, how are you? Long time no see.
I'm good, thanks, Carol. You okay?
You're doing good. I'm roughing it at the beach, so.
Lucky you.
Must be nice.
I know. So we asked Allan about the penalty kick, and his numbers say he doesn't take many, but sounds like he's just played with a lot of really good penalty takers and doesn't mind turning it over. But I'm
just shout out Carol. Does not give an F. She's gonna freaking dive into this shit because she doesn't. She's been there before. She's been in the trenches.
curious, in your setting, the way you like it, you have one guy who's a designated penalty taker, and then if someone else talks him out of it, you let that guy do it, or?
No. I mean, and listen, I got questioned afterwards whether there was a debate about the penalty take and whether Maxi should have took it because he won the penalty. We're not at school, it's not amateur hour. We're a professional outfit who knows who's taking penalties. And it's not like, if I put it in American football terms, it's not like you've got a field goal attempt at the last minute of the game to win it and your quarterback has to take it. That's not what happens in the game. Archie was 6 for 6 before the game. If he was on the pitch, he was our penalty taker. Maxi took a big whack as well at the time, so he was quite happy for Archie to take it, as was all of us. And unfortunately, he missed the penalty.
And if Allan is on the field in that scenario, would it likely have been him then?
Yeah. I mean, we'd done penalties the day before as well. I think only 2 players missed their penalties the day before, but we work on them and we have a designated taker, and if he's not on the pitch, we have a second one.
Dean Smith translated basically don't tell me my business, y'all. I'm the fucking manager of this team. I don't care about who y'all think should be taking the penalties. I know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, all right. Noted, sir. I guess I'll shut up.
Okay, thanks, Dean.
Cheers, thank you.
Alex.
So, talking about Maxi coming in, you talk a lot about culture at this club. You've said it from day one with interviews with us and everybody here. How does Maxi slot into that culture that you have cultivated and created here?
Because he's a good person. I think that's the most important thing. We know he's a top player, but he's a really good person as well. He wants to come in and not just be a star because he's, a designated player. He wants to come in and be part of the squad. He wants to be part of the leadership group. He wants to help the club succeed. They're the sort of traits that you want in players when you're bringing them in, especially if they're one of the top players.
And then
I think we all would agree after meeting Maxi over the last hour or so that he is a very good person as well as a top player, and a lot to be excited about there. You can tell Dean feels it as well.
last one from me is more about gameplay. I know we always focus on the match that's directly in front of us, but out of our next 5 games, we have 3 that are at home. How important is that to be at home and win at home?
Yeah, I think home form's always been very important, as I was told before I even come to this league, but more so with the atmosphere that our supporters generate as well. So it's important that we make sure our performances are good at home. We keep them, we give them what they deserve because of the support they give us, and having the next 3 out of the next 5 is really important for us. Cheers.
Wrap up with Willie.
What's the biggest tangible difference in the way your teams play here to where they were when you first started with this club?
I like it.
I think we're very organised. I don't think people get to have too many good chances against us because players know, certainly without the ball, what's expected of them. I think as time has gone by, we've got so much better now playing through the thirds. I think we can break lines a lot better, create more chances, and it's getting both sides of that, getting the balance of both sides of that right. So I don't think we can be surprised now at any way a team will come and play against us. We can adapt to different systems that play against us, and that's, I think, the beauty for the players. They're tactically really flexible, and that's important.
Do you think you're better?
Those all those things he said that they're doing so good are familiar because those are all the things he said he wanted to improve when he was hired. Imagine that coincidence. Brilliant. He's achieved all his goals on his performance review, and the team is playing much better. But he's not wrong. The organization is nice. It is fun to watch. There was, there's numerous moments in any match, and the most recent one I would say was, just an incidence of Kessler and Ream working really well together to snuff out an attack in the first half against Pachuca. And they had a little bit of a breakaway where we were tracking back. Both guys were kind of behind the play, but by working together, they snuffed it out and made the guy kind of kick it away out of bounds. That was just one example of many from that game. And every game you see Morrison, Kessler has worked his way in. Ream is leading it. Westwood is leading it. The fullbacks are plug and play at this point because the organization is so good, and that is fantastic to see, and that is a credit to Dean Smith. We're so lucky to have as much time. Anytime I ever criticize Dean Smith, I'm always thinking Dino's at the wheel, and we're lucky to have this guy at this stage of our club's history because he's establishing the expectations and the logistics and the mechanisms and the things that people in the building are all learning from him, not just the players. And those are the kind of things that lead to long-term success. What I'm learning, the more time you spend listening to Dean, I'm more learning just how focused he is on the long-term viability of this project and creating something that's going to last a long, long time, even after he's gone. And that's why I think it's a lot easier for him to not get so caught up like I emotionally do, and other fans, not every fan, but some fans do. I do definitely, when I talk about just the instant gratification that I'm always pushing for, and getting mad when Archie misses, but then finally 48 hours later being ready to move on and stuff like that. There's all kinds of incidences. Mad when Wilf got his red card and he got suspended against New York. Never let that go, stuff like that. So, mad at the refs for their stupid ruling on the Duncan McGuire foul against Orlando, et cetera, et cetera. But we go on.
Better at dictating
Almost
the terms
done.
of a game now as opposed to before.
As a team, I think we are. Yeah, I think as a team now we can dictate the game in different ways. If we see a team making lots of passes in defence, we're quite okay with them having the ball. Whereas before, I think people would get a little bit excited and want to go and win it back when it wasn't right. We could get played through. I think now we pick good times. You saw the first goal, I think it was against Atlas, when Tigers, that pass from centre back to full back is a pressing trigger for us, and he's gone and pressed, won the ball, and created the goal at the far post for Leal. So we're starting to understand our roles and responsibilities a lot more than obviously we did when I first came in.
Yeah.
Team, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Shout out Johnny G. Shout out everyone there on the Zoom and in the room. And I have not made pressers recently, but I'm happy to be decoding them. So it's actually kind of good that I go in fresh for the decoding thing, because as I said, they're not posting these on YouTube anymore on the Charlotte FC thing. They are on the app. So if you want to watch these pressers and you want a lot less Brams, there is an option for that. Those are on the Charlotte FC app. But I'm putting them here on YouTube and talking about them with y'all because it's what I like to do in my spare time, I guess. Saturday, 7:30, Apple. Like I said, we're going to get a good old look at ASM. Hopefully, we want to see as many minutes as possible, as many minutes as Dean thinks is safe to play this guy, so that he doesn't break. Shout out Frozen Pizza for sure. That was what I had for dinner tonight, So got us there. Shout out everyone for being here. We've gone long enough. Thanks to the millions of soccer citizens around the world. It's for the crown, baby.